In this video, we're going to zoom in on the form processor processing the web form that Grace has filled in when she wants to become a new member. Before we show you the form processor, it's important to understand what the form itself looks like. Here you can see that if Grace clicks on the link in the template, she goes to a web form which is called Become a Member. Her data is pre-filled, so this information should be in the form processor. If she clicks on Yes, I want to become a member, then a membership needs to be created and a contribution needs to be created, which is linked to the membership. Also, if she wants to give Save the Forest permission to debit her bank account, we need to create a SEPA. Finally, she wants to add other people to her household to enjoy the benefits of the membership, and when she clicks on Yes, she can fill in contact details of 3 household members. So this is what the form looks like in the front end. Now let's have a look at the form processor in CiviCRM. Now that we've seen the web form, we are going to have a closer look at the form processor. We go to Administer, Automation, Form Processor. Here you can see there's one which is called New Membership Registration. When I click on Edit, you can see there are 3 parts in this form processor. First of all, define the form processor, where we put all the fields and all the inputs. Secondly, the actions that need to be taken. And finally, the retrieval of defaults. The fact that Grace can fill in a pre-filled web form is being defined here. Now let's start with define the form processor, the inputs. When you look at the inputs, you can see a long list of fields that are also shown on the web form itself. Since this is an alphabetical order, the order is different from the one on the web form. As you can see, most of the inputs are of the type short text. We have a few different types. First of all, the amount, which of course is a formatted decimal number. The frequency is of the type custom options. Here you can set whether they want to pay annually, semi-annually, quarterly, or monthly. This will influence the membership fee and how often they pay for that. Thirdly, there's the membership type. Again, we created custom options. We offer family membership and individual membership. And in the list of membership types under Administer Civi Member, you can collect the correct value, which in this case it's 1 for family membership and 2 for individual one. And finally, we have an option group for the payment status. This resembles the option group for the payment status, stuff like completed, pending, etc., etc. And this will show up the payment status when we create a contribution. Now let's have a look at the actions. When you look at the actions, you can see it's quite a long list as well. Before we have a closer look at 1 or 2 of them, let's have a general look first. Here you can see at the top that we create a few individuals, a household, a relationship between the household and the individual. We use the shared address of a contact so that all individuals will have the same address as the household. We create relationships between the individuals. And of course, we create a membership. Then we create an activity, which is called welcome package, so that we can send letters to the new members. And if people want to pay with SEPA, we first need to look up the big code and then create the mandate. Then we link the SEPA to the membership. And if they pay by Molly, we create a payment as well. And finally, we send a confirmation mail to all new members thanking them for signing up. All these actions are necessary from the web form that we created on the website. Now let's have a closer look at two of the actions. First of all, the validate checksum action. When you click here on edit, you can see that the input for this field is the checksum and the contact ID. These are related to the links in your template. Apart from this, you can see here that the condition is that the parameter is not empty. In other words, if the checksum is not empty, then use this action. If the checksum is empty, then start afresh and create a household and then an individual. So this way you can set conditions to your actions. Secondly, let's have a look at the Create SEPA mandate action. We click on Edit, and here we can see that the creditor is Save the Forest. The default financial time is member due. The frequency is monthly, and the collection date is as soon as possible. The contact ID is the household, because that's the one who's going to be the member. IBAN as a field input, and the big code is being collected by the action lookup big IBAN. The amount and the frequency are both coming from the inputs. Secondly, here again you can see there's a condition, and you only want to have the mandate created if the value of the payment options is 1. And this 1 is coming from this field, payment option, custom options. And we click on edit there, and we see if the value is 1, we create a SEPA recurring. So this way you can see that your input and actions are related to each other, and this is how you set up actions in the form processor. Finally, we need to have a look at the retrieval of defaults, as we call it. Filling in this page ensures you that contact data that is already known in CPCRM can be pre-filled on your web form. You need a contact ID for that and a checksum. And here you have the retrieval methods of your default data. So the validate checksum and the contact ID. And below, you can set the defaults themselves. In other words, which fields do you want to have pre-filled on your web form? In this case, it's the city and the country and the email address of Grace. Her first name, her last name, and the street address. So this way, you can set which fields you want to have pre-filled on your web form related to this form processor. In other videos on this website, you can see more information on the form processor.